If we think about an auction mindset, really what we're doing is trying to incentivize somebody to make a decision very, very quickly in favor of buying or bidding on an animal. Some of this goes against like our common rational thought, but that's why I do this video. This is stuff that I've learned that's the aha information, okay? It's not only an auction live stream selling platform, it's an entertainment platform. If there's 100 or hundreds of people in the room and you're getting a fraction of hundreds of people bidding, this is all about getting that excitement, getting that enthusiasm from the bidders. What's going on, everybody? I hope that you're doing well today. Thank you for being here. If we haven't met before, my name's Adam. I'm the breeder and the founder behind Proper Royals. I breed ball pythons, and I sell on a variety of platforms, but I'm a big believer in diversifying the platforms that you sell on, reaching different audiences in different places. And one of my favorite new platforms for me, it's not a new platform, but it's new in the restaurant world. It's not a new platform, but it's new to me and it's new in the reptile industry and community, is PalmStreet. PalmStreet, just to be clear, it's unique. It's very different from anything available, and the differentiation is that it's a live streaming selling platform and it's integrated. So there's a lot of live streaming platforms. There's a lot of selling platforms. I don't know of another one, especially that welcomes reptile sellers, that is live streaming interactive for selling animals, reptiles specifically. And in my case, ball pythons. I've been selling on PalmStreet for about a year and a half now, and I actually was the very first ball python breeder approved to sell ball pythons. When they decided that they wanted to get into the reptile industry, I had an opportunity, some introductions were made, and I agreed. I said, yeah, I would love the opportunity to kick this off and be the early adopter and give it a shot. I found it to be very, very useful for certain market segments, and I found that it's improving. As more people in our industry and our hobby get comfortable with PalmStreet, the better and the better the results are going to be. So I thought today what I would do is share my top 5 things I've learned. I guess if I were just making a catchy thumbnail, I would be like 5 tips or 5 hacks or pro tip. Does anybody say pro tips anymore? Anyway, I'm going to tell you 5 things that work really well that I do every time as part of my auction process, and hopefully save you a little bit of headache and learning along the way. Also, I'd be interested in what you do and what your experience has shown and what you think of PalmStreet as well. If you're interested in trying out PalmStreet as a buyer, you could go straight to palmstreet.app. You need to do it on your phone, and it's a phone-based app. Everything is a vertical screen. You meet people right at their phone. That's the other cool thing about this platform. Palmstreet.app, you can download the app right there. If you want to sell, you'll need to go to the link in the description to apply to sell reptiles. There is a screening and approval process. It takes about 3 minutes. It's not that big of a deal. And an actual human reviews what you submit. They just want to make sure that they're really, really, really representing the reptile community properly. We all know that there's some undesirable behavior that goes on in our community, and PalmStreet is committed to upholding the highest standards of safety. Just putting the animals first. Just the classic put the animals first situation. That's all. You can go right to that link right down there. It should be the very first line in the description down below. The very first thing that I think that you have to do for auctions when you get going and when you decide that you want to do this is you got to have the mindset that Rome wasn't built in a day. If you built a shop, if you rented space at a local market, if you vended at an expo, and you decided that that's what you were going to start doing, and you made the investment and the commitment, and your very first show or your very first time, it wasn't all you'd hoped, you don't just walk away from your investment and your commitment. PalmStreet's a little bit that way, especially in the early stages of the reptile engagement of the community. Now, let me tell you, gecko breeders, they're killing it. Colubrid breeders, they're moving a lot of snakes. Ball pythons will move. This is a proven platform. This will happen. I've had great success at it. I do have to choose which animals and what audience I think I'm reaching. Here's the thing. Tip number 1 is build your brand on PalmStreet. If we think about an auction mindset, really what we're doing is trying to incentivize somebody to make a decision very, very quickly in favor of buying or bidding on an animal. In order to really increase the leverage on somebody making that decision, you need a lot of eyes on your product and you need a lot of people attending your event. That was a big old word salad for saying get butts in the seats. That's how you're going to drive prices up. If you have 10 people bidding versus 100 people bidding, what do you think is going to happen? So what you have to do is you have to build your business on PalmStreet. I think I'm going to do a whole video just on that, but treat it like any other social media platform. Follow people, interact, comment, heck, go purchase a few. You might find yourself enjoying the platform. Your behaviors will be reciprocated. You're gonna have to build your brand, okay? So make sure that you're putting effort into building your brand. Get followers. What happens when you post an event is that announcements and notifications go out to your followers. It hits their feed in PalmStreet. So build your brand first and foremost. Don't just sign up and expect, all the riches to be handed to you. That doesn't happen anywhere in life. It's not gonna happen here either. Okay, my number 2 part of the process is to make sure that you create your events and you post them 2 weeks ahead of time. You could go longer. I wouldn't go much shorter, but I wouldn't go too much longer either. 2 weeks is close enough for people to really look forward to it and to maintain their attention, but it also gives you enough time to really advertise and to promote. What happens when you create your event is PalmStreet's going to create, I think it's 5 or 6, but a portfolio of digital assets for you. You could post to Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. They're already formatted. They're ready to go. It has all the information about your event. You also have the freedom and ability to create a unique event poster or thumbnail for every single event. I like to keep mine kind of similar so that people kind of recognize me from afar, but look how creative all of these things are. There's a fantastic opportunity to really express yourself and to really try and make something eye-catching to attract people. Give yourself 2 weeks and really commit to promoting it, okay? I found on a recent auction that I did, when I followed that 2-week rule and I really pushed it, I got, I think it's 363, but north of 300 viewers in that auction. Big surprise, you get 300 people attending the auction. It gets very active. There were very, very good results. There were lots of bidders. I know you might be saying, yeah, but Adam, you have a little bit of a presence. I'm selling the same stuff you are. Like, I'm not selling world's firsts. These are ball pythons for the people, mostly pet grade stuff that I'm working on. And it can sell, it can connect. You can do that. It just takes you putting in the effort on your end to, again, build your business, then post it 2 weeks ahead of time and promote it across all of your platforms. Wherever your brand is, promote it there. Get people into the seats, get the butts in the seats. All right, here's where it starts getting a little bit weird and when I say weird, it's almost uncomfortable for me. You're gonna hear me like, you're going to hear a tone in my voice that makes it sound like I'm unsure or I'm uncertain. Some of this goes against like our common rational thought. I wouldn't say common sense, but it goes against our rational thought. But that's why I do this video. This is stuff that I've learned that's the aha information, okay? These auctions, they're fast. I think the longest that you could set an auction for live is like 2 minutes or something like that. But I recommend doing either a 30, 60, or 90-second auction, and that is all. Okay, I know. Take a moment, get your head around it. But these other platforms, we do 10-day auctions, or 5-day auctions, or 3-day auctions. You're talking about doing 30, 60, or 90-second auctions? The answer is yes. That's where the platform works. It's not only an auction, live stream selling platform, it's an entertainment platform. The hurried auction, if you get the people in the seat, they know that they're there to buy. Their wallet is integrated into the platform. All they have to do is push the button to bid. You got to do it quickly because the people, here's the thing you don't think about. The people that aren't bidding and aren't going to buy at least that item, you don't want them to leave. You want to get on to the next item. You want to maintain their energy and their interest. You want to keep people. Nothing attracts a crowd like a crowd, right? In PalmStreet, when you first sign on, and you see the lives that are happening right then, it shows you how many are watching what. What are you going to go to? You're going to go to the one with the most. You're going to be like, what is this person doing? I want to go check out the most. You got to keep them engaged, and how you do that is moving quickly. Now, this is going to flow into number 4, but do the shorter auctions. But also remember, none of the action really happens till right at the end, right? That's when all the flurry of the action always happens. Nobody's out front showing their hands ahead of time, showing their cards in their hand, whatever the expression is. The action happens right at the end. So my number 4 step in the process, or hint, or hack, or whatever we want to call it, is make sure that you utilize PalmStreet's snipe protection. Snipe protection means at the very last bid, or every bid within like the last 10 seconds, they're going to extend the auction 10 more seconds. It's long enough to keep things engaging and let other people bid. It doesn't drag it out very much, but it's definitely long enough that if somebody else wants to bid, they can. It's not that early days of eBay where you just wait to the end and hope your internet sticks and is fast enough and all of that. You got about 10 seconds that they extend it by. But you want to make sure that that snipe protection is turned on and that you are getting that protection from somebody being able to just be the fastest hand at the very last second. You don't want to deal with that. All right, my number 5 thing, and this is another one of those that is probably the hardest to get your head around. It's the bid increments. We talked earlier about making sure that there was volume of eyes in the seats, right? Volume of eyes on the product, butts in the seats. We talked about that earlier. The higher the engagement, the more all of this makes sense. Get people into your event. Whatever it takes, get them into the event. And side note, PalmStreet will help you. There's coupons that you can give away. There's giveaways if you want to just make an item that people have to be present for and they can win on like a random, attendee generator. PalmStreet has all that integrated. Okay, you got the high engagement, you got a whole bunch of people there. Here's the craziest part and the hardest one to do. Start your bids at $1 and set the bid increments at $1. Now I know you're going, Adam, I'm not going to sell $300, $500, $800,000 animals with a $1 risky starting point. I hear you. You are entering an auction site platform, live streaming, selling platform. So there is a little bit of a risk to it. I think the value proposition is this is an exciting platform that is engaging for the audience. The audience knows that they're there to buy. There's no other competition. You don't have other listings of similar animals that are competing with people's attention. And so there's a trade-off and there's a little bit of a risk. However, what I found, whether it be normals that I would normally only sell for $25, $30 at a show, they went for more when I started them at $1. When I did all of these things I'm talking about, when I built my business, when I advertised 2 weeks in advance, that gets people into the room. And at $1, everybody can get in. They're all interested and intrigued. At the right price, anything's appetizing, I think. Now, we don't want to have impulse buys on animals. I understand that. But if somebody's looking to buy an animal, a $1 starting bid is going to get them in. A $1 bid increment is a very low hurdle and a very little small friction point for the buyer to get over. $1. And think about that. And think about that again. We're talking in volume engagement. If there's 100 or hundreds of people in the room and you're getting a fraction of hundreds of people bidding, the $1 increments are going to look like $10, $20, $30 increments as they're going because it's fast action. Again, remember, we're doing 30, 60, 90 second. This is all about getting that excitement, getting that enthusiasm from the bidders. So those are my 5 sort of process points for what I do for every auction. Try it out, see how it works for you, or come see one of my auctions, see how it does for me, and see if PalmStreet is a platform for you. I think that there's appropriate things to sell in different marketplaces, and for the right customers and the right animals for those customers, PalmStreet is a fantastic platform, and it's only going to improve as more and more sellers and buyers get comfortable with it. And I'm excited to share my knowledge and my experience with you and help you get ahead sooner. Try it out. Let me know how it goes. I want to hear your experience in the comments below. I want to hear your feedback. What do you think I'm missing? What would you recommend doing? Download the app, apply to start selling reptiles, and start building your business today on PalmStreet.